Now let's turn to West Asia. You know that a ceasefire is underway in Gaza. Hamas is releasing Israeli hostages. In exchange, the Israelis are releasing Palestinian prisoners. The guns have mostly fallen silent and the world anxiously awaits the conclusion of 15 months of war. But what happens after that? What happens to war-torn Gaza, which is mostly rubble at this point? Gaza will have to be rebuilt. And that's hard to do when you have millions of displaced people all over. This ties in with a new report that is doing the rounds, with a rather alarming title. Apparently, there's a plan to relocate Gazan civilians all the way to Indonesia. Here's how the story came about. There was an interview with a member of Donald Trump's transition team, an unnamed source from the incoming US administration. The source was talking about Trump's new envoy to West Asia, Steve Witkoff. Witkoff was reportedly instrumental in getting the Gaza ceasefire deal signed. He flew down to Israel on Sabbath, a holy day for Jewish people, and demanded to see Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Witkoff reportedly pressured Netanyahu into meeting and then into accepting the ceasefire deal. Trump's envoy is now looking at the next steps. The source, the unnamed transition official, said, and I quote, "If we don't help the Gazans, if we don't make their life better, if we don't give them a sense of hope, there is going to be a rebellion." This means Gaza needs to be rebuilt. Unless some normalcy returns, the Palestinians in Gaza will eventually revolt. That is the fear. Taking us right back to where we started. How does one clean up all the debris? How does one clear the rubble that is Gaza today? Especially when millions of Palestinians are out and about, rummaging through their former homes. It will be difficult, to say the least. And that is why Trump's envoy is thinking about relocating them, temporarily moving Gazans to a third country, while the Gaza Strip is cleaned up and rebuilt. Now, one of the third countries being considered is apparently Indonesia. Indonesia is the world's most populous Muslim nation. It has staunchly supported the Palestinian cause, and it has pledged to support Gaza's reconstruction. Indonesia has showed unwavering support to the Palestinians, but they did not really sign up to take in thousands of people. Reacting to the relocation reports, Indonesia says it has, and I'm quoting, never heard about this plan. They had no idea they were even being considered as a host country, and their surprise is understandable. I mean, look at the map. Indonesia is all the way in Southeast Asia. Gaza is in West Asia, thousands of kilometers away. It is hard to imagine flying tens of thousands of Gazans to Indonesia. Sure, Indonesia is the world's largest Muslim majority nation, but that does not mean they're equipped to handle Palestinian people. Where do they set up a base? And what do they do about the language barrier? It's all quite ridiculous if you think about it. If relocating is really being considered, somewhere in West Asia would make the most sense, another Arabic-speaking nation, with the resources to host Palestinian people. But that is a potential minefield, because West Asia has seen this play out time and again. The Arab countries surrounding Israel host millions of Palestinians already, people who were displaced during the Nakba in the late 1940s. And with every Arab-Israel war since, these older Palestinian refugees have not been allowed to return. That is why people in Gaza don't want to leave now, even temporarily, because they fear they will never be allowed back. Relocation will be a hard sell, whether to a neighboring Arab nation or all the way to Indonesia. So Trump's envoy might have to reconsider his plan and find a different way to help rebuild Gaza.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on First Post.